What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? We are live, breaking it down. You got with my guy Connor Mack. We're doing a little PGA Pub Hub. Let's rock and roll. We got the matching green hats today. You know, feeling good. You got the new setup there, guys. We'll work on the backdrop there. Got better lightage there going on. But thank you guys for so much for tuning in. We're going to break down this week's Charles Schwab Challenge. Not invitational, not whatever you want to call it. They're doing the challenge. I don't know if I'd call it a challenge here. Down in Texas, going to be the last stop in Tejas until they start to go up north. Be up here in Canada, actually, Connor, in a couple weeks. There, I'll be at the Canadian Open, so look forward to that. But this is going to be at Colonial. But before I get into that, Connor, let's do a little quick recap of last week. We were talking about it in the back room there, guys. Mito, just play your safe, Mito. You know, hit the 3-wood. Just don't go in the crick, as our guy Connor likes to call it. He went in the crick. And he was shooting.
That's a crick.
He was in the crick. In the crick, and he went over. And the third shot went over the green. Fourth shot was barely on the green, and then he missed the fifth putt, made a 6. And you can't do that, Mito. Poor guy, just was so damn close. And out of nowhere, like a horse in the Kentucky Derby, here comes Justin Thomas on the inside, and Justin Thomas, he gets head to head with Zalatoris, and you know, I think it was just he won it on that shot on 17. You know, Willie didn't lose it, but JT won it, I think, on that shot on 17, and they both evened out on 16 and 18. So it was a hell of a tournament there. JT, good for him winning it. You know, he's playing good golf leading up. I just couldn't take him. Yeah, 7-shot comeback, unbelievable. Yeah. But I couldn't take him at the number. Willie Z, we thought he'd have a good tournament. He did, but yeah, Connor, we were close. How was your week?
Yeah, we were close, you know, bunch of guys I didn't take. I like Justin Thomas. The number wasn't right, like you talked about, for me at least. I don't blame anyone. And you probably could have got him 7 shots back at a decent number. But, yeah, Willie Z was short. I stayed off him, too, because I still think he wins a regular event. Even though he's played so well in the majors, I think he's got to win on tour because he's finding ways. You know, he's losing. That happens. Yeah. You got to learn to lose a little bit on the PGA Tour. So I think he'll win a couple tournaments, and he definitely will win a major at some point. So I didn't think it was ready, even though he had the chance. And Mito, just, you know, the guy was 9 under. He kind of had a bad day. He still had it. But I talked about the putt on 17, you know, just kind of one half roll. That putt drops of the golf ball, and it's a little different, but I still should have played it safe, like we were talking about in the back. And on 18, and in the crick, he said, and just the nightmare. But he was a stand-up guy. He took the interviews afterwards. He didn't fold. So, I mean, he folded on the course, but not, you know, stand-up guy for that. But it was decent for me. Cam Young, like we talked about, came through the top 10 and I had some 20s. With Hoagie, my guy, he was my last guy I threw in there. It was dicey. I didn't know if I want to throw a 4th guy on a top 20 because I had enough money out already. But he came through and Seamus Power. So if I can't catch the winner, I'm happy with what this week proved, but I'm ready for this week. Charles Schwab, baby.
Nicely done, Connor. Yeah, no, I had Zalatoris there, guys. A couple other top 20s there. I had Fitzpatrick top 20. I had a couple other guys in the top 40 range that we hit too. So wasn't our best week. We did okay. Matchup bets were about even. So we're going to get into this week's Charles Schwab's, guys. It's, like I said, last stop in Tejas, Texas. It's Colonial Country Club, longest event too on the PGA stop. That's been at the same course, non-major that is, in Fort Worth, Texas. So a lot of course history, a lot of golfers have played here. Past champs, we'll go all the way back a couple of years here, guys. Kokrak -14, Berger 15, Knopf 13, Rose -20, Kisner -10, Spieth -17. So for the most part, it's a birdieable course. I think from when I'm looking at, Connor, the pictures, I think they're gonna, -3 15 to 20 is going to win this week. I think they'll be able to make their birdies coming off a really tough track. Same bent grass style of golf course, or greens, that is. So I'm looking at golfers that are putting well in the last few weeks. We'll get into those golfer stats here in a second, guys. Other than that, VIP stats. I got some VIP stats here for you, Connor. Driving accuracy. I think that's going to be huge. Tight tree line on some holes. If you can just keep this puppy in the fairway, you should be laughing on your second shot. Some smaller greens, but much easier than what we're going to be seeing from last week. So driving accuracy is going to be key. Approach, greens, and regulation, and then putting on bent grass. And around the green, Connor, I was looking at the stats from last year. A lot of the guys in the top 20 were all like negative and around the green, their stats.
Yeah.
So around the green means like very, very little here. It doesn't take much. It's more so greens and regulation, driving accuracy, like I said, and approach, and then a hot putter is what's going to get her done this week. So with that being said, the holes you're only going to have, it's a par 72, guys, only 7,000, about 150 yards. Hole by hole, you have 12 par fours. Again, it's just like last week, but in a much easier track, much shorter. Par fives are 550, 629. Par threes, 241, but then 175, 170, 183. Par fours are not that long either, Connor. We got 1,470, 1,467. And then that's really it. Other than that, they're all under 450 yards. So shorter golfers can do much better at this course off the tee. Yes. It's more so accuracy that's going to come down to here. Like I said, not the longest of golf courses. Players that have done well here, though, Spieth, he's T2, T30, T32nd, T8, T10, and second. So Spieth's done very well at this golf course, Fort Worth, Texas, not far from where he grew up. Bubba Watson was 7th in 2020. Hovland, T23 in 2020. Some more golfers, Rose. He was 1st in 2018, T58, T3, and T21. Kisner, another guy, short off the tee, Connor, but he's won this event in 2017, and he's placed, at least made the cut in 4 of his last 5 events there. So there's a bunch of golfers here, guys. I'm going to get into my 6-pack. If you don't have any other information, of course, I think I want to get right into her. I got some stats on the bent grass, guys. I think that's going to be important here, Connor. Looking at golfers that I like on bent grass here, I got a bunch of them, but I've shrunk them down. To start off the card, I do have Hovland again, Connor. I'm rocking with Victor Hovland. It's a much easier track. I like him in Birdie Fest, and I think we're going to have a Birdie Fest here. At the CJ Cup, he gained strokes on the putting surface, 1.5. Masters, he was 1.04. He only lost 0.05 last week at the PGA Championship. It wasn't his putting that caused him problems. Compared to Morikawa, guys, Morikawa was minus 0.61. So I like Hovland a little bit better than Morikawa. I think both of them will do well, but I do like Hovland, what I've seen this year on bent grass greens. He's 20 to 1. You're not far. It's just going down the road from Oklahoma to Texas. So he's a guy that his putting wasn't that bad, and you're getting a much easier track, tee to green. He can just bomb him off the tee. And he seems to be pretty damn decent on these bent grass greens, Connor. So I think Hovland's got a shot. He was T18 at the CJ, T27 Masters, and T41 at the PGA. Just a much easier, those courses there, PGA, Masters, and CJ were much tougher. You got an easier one here in the Charles Schwab. So I like Hovland. What do you think of Hovland, Connor?
You know what? I'm not taking him. One thing I think I'm a big Victor Hovland fan, and I think he's going to win a lot on tour and a major, especially he gets the flat stick going. But I've been off him this year, which has worked out for me. And I'm not going to take him here because, like I said, I think he's overvalued in these markets. I mean, I just don't think he should be 20 to 1. I mean, maybe 30 to 1. I just think, a lot of upside. I don't mind the play. Yeah, it's just until I see some more at a guy I really, really liked and was on a lot last year. And maybe this is the week. 20 to 1, it's about there, but I think I'm going to stay off Victor.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, like Zalatoris, I'm not going to take, guys. I just think he could win, but I'm going on my angles where just last week was a lot. JT, I'm going to fade him this week. Spieth's an interesting take. Wasn't that good last week. Morikawa, only thing against him would be this putting on bent grass, and then Scotty Scheffler, who's the favorite. His game seems like it's not in the same place it was a couple months ago, guys. So he doesn't stand out. The favorites don't stand out. Other than Hoffman, really, I think he's got an opportunity to bounce back here because his putting wasn't. If his putting was really bad last week, guys, I'd probably be like, okay, he's got some issues there. But it was mainly, I think, just his chipping. Because he was leaving. It was chipping actually. It was his chipping. He was leaving himself tough par putts, which he was making. But I think he's got an opportunity. I got to take Big Dick Vic here. Not far from where he grew up to there. I'm going with Victor Hovland, guys. He's starting off the card 20-1. I talked about Morikawa, just his putting. I think he should do well here, though. Kevin Na, he didn't make the card. He was the last cut. I hope he doesn't bite me in the ass here, Kevin Na, but he should do well. Plus 1.02 at the CJ on bent grass. He lost 0.4 at the Masters, but then he was plus 0.88 this week, Kevin Na, and he finished T23. He actually did quite well. And then looking at what he did, where am I here? Last year or the last few years, he's been good. He was fourth at this event in 2018. He won this event in 2019. He was cut the year following. And then last year he was T32. So he's a guy, I do have him actually top 20 guys. Where am I here? So many fucking notes. Where are we? T20, I have Kevin Na. Or actually, I don't, but I'm going to add that right now. I want Kevin Na top 20. I do think he didn't make my card, but I do want him on the top 20, Connor. I like it. I think he's going to have a shot here. His putting was well. He's done very well at this course. It's just shorter track. Just keep it straight off the tee. Gets a hot putter going. Hopefully he doesn't win because I don't have him on my card to win. I actually switched out for another guy here, which I probably shouldn't have done more I think about it. But with that being said, I think I like Kevin Na here. What do you think of Na? You like
I don't blame you. Yeah, and if you don't take him to win, he's on that borderline for me to win. He's right around 55-1, and I might leave him off. But I think he's a top 10, top 20 look this week. He's one of these double, triple circles I have, on a few of these guys. You already mentioned Spieth. I have a few more. Kokrak. There's multiple guys I have, about 6 here listed. So he was one that might not win it, but I think you're on the radar there. Yeah,
totally agree there. Totally agree. Tony Finau is another guy I have written down here. He's done well, but his putting, nothing stands out on the bent grass. I don't think he has enough to get it done. Could maybe be a top 20, but I'm not big on Tony Finau here. Gets a little wayward there with the driver. We'll see. But his putting there for the most part on bent grass, I'm not high on. The guy that I am high on here did quite well last week, Connor. Haven't had him, I think, on the card in a while. The Englishman, Justin Rose, old Rosie boy. He was T13 last week, guys. Gained 1.05 on the putting surfaces there. His putter was hot. I'd love to see that. He was also 0.4 strokes on the putting surface at the CJ. And he missed the cut at the Masters, Connor, but he was 1.05 strokes gained on the putting surface there, too. So he loves putting on these bent grass. Looking back to what he's done here, he won the event in 2018, T58, T3, T20. Justin Rose, guys, he's trending in the right direction. His putter has been really hot. Finished strong, too. I'm going to bring him up here on one of our websites. Justin Rose, his off the tee. One thing about off the tee there, Connor, it's the 6th toughest off the tee strokes gained. So if you can gain strokes off the tee, you're at an advantage. His off the tee could be a little bit better from Justin Rose, but his putter's getting hot. I really like that. This isn't a tough course, tee to green. It's a shorter course. So T14, T13 at the PGA. Let's start with Justin Rose, guys. He's going to be 60-1 on our 6-pack there. What do you think of old Rosie boy?
Yeah, I think he's playing a bit better. I like Justin Rose, great golfer, major winner, gold medal. He's getting a little bit older in age. I'm looking at another Englishman that played well that I've stayed off, and that's our guy, Tommy Fleetwood, fairway Jesus. He's piqued my interest a little bit. He had a great Sunday. I'm finally liking his game a little bit lately.
You're right. Yeah.
So he's a guy I'm looking at. Don't know if I take him to win, but definitely like top 10, top 20. And to win, the number's okay. He's like 35-1, but I think maybe this is the week for Jesus here.
Yeah, he was. I remember a couple of weeks back, even maybe a month ago, guys, he was like 90, 80-1. His number's just dropping steadily. Golfer, probably he's on the rise right now. Definitely Tommy Fleetwood. Find some matchup bets. I think Fleetwood. I am in agreement with you guys. Tommy should have a good time here at the Charles Schwab. Moving on, though, Connor Kisner should do okay. He doesn't stand out too much, though, this year. Woodland, very bad, actually, for the most part. Other than at the Wells Fargo, he gained some strokes but missed the cut. His putting on the bent grass this year has been very below par, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Emiliano Grillo, he's interesting. Could be maybe one of the longer shots. Should do maybe okay here. His game just has been really up and down this year. A guy I am going to take, though, Connor, is going to be Brian Harman. He's gained strokes at the Shriners, CJ Cup, Masters, PGA Championship, and the Wells Fargo. Not a lot of strokes on the putting surface, but enough that I know he's comfortable. Brian Harman, too, looking at what he's done here, he is T7 in 2017, T14, T31, T23, and then T8. This guy's been making the cut every single year at this event. It's a shorter track, keeps it straight off the tee, gets that putter going. He's a lefty, too. Shout out to us lefties. I think Brian Harman, Connor, he loves this track. He's coming off of T34 last week. Didn't lose strokes on the putting surface. And like I said, he hasn't lost strokes on 5 events this year on bent grass. So he's had plenty of experience as well. I like that. One reason I'd mud on a couple of golfers, one being Berger, is he just hasn't played on bent grass much this year. So I do like this would be a 6th start for Harman, 2 on bent grass. He seems to like this course. He is at, what do I got him at? Harman's 55-1. I think that's a good number on Harman. A lot of guys I have this week are going to be in that range, guys of 55-1. Also, Harman is going to be top 10, Connor, at plus 600. There's a bomb for you guys. Brian Harman plus 600, top 10. Also top 20, plus 250 on Brian Harman. So, what do you think of Brian Harman? No left.
I like it a little bit. He's played here in the past. You talk about him putting on bent grass. He's a guy on my radar a little bit. He's down a ways, but he's hovering for me. So I like it. Just something about him. He pops up and does play well. And this is a course where he would play better. Shorter hitter, just straight go. He's a guy that was an automatic cross off, I think, like the PGA on that course.
He did the best he could for the distance he had. He finished, T34. I think that's pretty good for him.
Okay. Yeah, so it's tough. I might take Harman, but I'm probably going to stay off.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. I'm looking at the off the tee too, Connor. PGA Championship, he lost a little bit of strokes off the tee, but 1, 2, 3, his last 8, 9 events off the tees, gaining strokes. Approach has been good, and he likes putting up bent grass, and he's done well at this event. So I'm gonna have Harman. I hope he finishes really well, guys. If he does, we're gonna hit some. We'll cash a lot of tickets. We'll increase our bankroll because plus 600, Connor, top 10. That's one of the bigger ones I've had, I think, on the show, and then plus 250 on top 20. That's Brian Harman. Moving on, after Brian Harman, Berger, I was saying he just doesn't have many stats here, guys, on bent grass. And when he did, he lost strokes at the PGA Championship and at the Masters. Patrick Reed, he's a guy I don't want to say I overlooked last week, but you would have thought he'd do well for the most part. It was an around the green putting contest, and he's damn good at that. With that being said, I don't think he's got enough to get her done this week. Now, the guy I replaced with, Connor, was McNeely. I'm going with McNeely. The only place he lost strokes was at the Shriners. Despite that, he missed the cut. But at the CJ, he was plus 0.51, T25 at the Zozo, plus 0.85 at the AT&T, and then he gained 0.73 and was T75. So he had a really rough time with his approach. The approach seemed to get him. The distance seemed to get McNeely, but he still gained 0.73 strokes and was plus 15, dead last after making the cut. So his putter actually kept him in it. I think it's going to be a much easier task for McNeely. He's gained strokes too, from what I've seen on the putting surfaces, Connor. So I'm going to take a shot. His number was also 66-1. That was another reason why I liked Maverick McNeely. And looking at what he's done at the course here, T42, T32, and T20. So he's slowly getting better as he's playing this course. And I like him in a bounce back from what happened last week.
I think he's a decent bomb. A decent bomb price. I don't know if he makes it for me. It was a look for me. I don't know if I'd take him to win. Maybe find some value on top 10 or top 20, though. Maverick McNeely. Streaky guy. I don't know what to make of him, really, too. I mean,
I like the course. I like the course. I think the course is that's what it's about. I think the course fits fits this guy. He's made the cut in his last 2 events. Well, actually, despite the better ball competition, he's made the cut, and holy shit, every event dating back to the Shriners, he's made the cut. So he's a guy that's actually strong off the tee, good approach, and should like these putting surfaces. So I'm gonna give Maverick McNeely a shot, and we got him at 66-1, guys. That's Maverick McNeely. Also have him on a top 20 on McNeely at plus 240. Connor, I think he's got a good shot this week. Moving on, guys. Moving on there. We got as much time too today. It's a holiday up here in Canada, so we can go a little late if we have to.
Beautiful. What's the holiday? Come on, you got to hit us with it.
May 2-4. I don't know what you call that.
What the hell is that? Yeah, okay. What's
just
that?
When everyone goes out and gets drunk for the spring. There's probably an actual specific day.
St. Patrick's Day then?
Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, okay. Memorial Day. Okay.
Memorial Day weekend. That's it. Yeah,
there
we call it that. So yeah, we got the day off here. So I already went out golfing actually. But yeah, let's get after it here, guys. Next one on the card there, McNeely is Simpson. Simpson, he's very up and down. This guy is just a real dice game. Just roll the dice. You don't know if you're going to roll 10s or zeros with this guy. I'm going to leave him off the card. Billy Horschel just doesn't have enough on the bent grass, similar to McNeely. He gained a little bit of strokes at the Masters, nothing at the PGA Championship. And then he didn't play in any of those other smaller events. So I'm not sure about Horschel. Just don't have enough information on him. Answer is interesting. He's been gaining strokes lately on bent grass. Despite missing the cut at the Masters, he was plus 2.77. He gained 0.96 last week. So his putter's slowly getting better. I don't know if the PGA Championship being in the mix took too much out of him, but I think he could be a solid top 20 matchup bet kind of golfer. I'm not going to take him to win, Connor, but I don't mind our guy Abraham Answer. Varner's not going to make. Yeah, I don't mind Answer. Yeah.
And he's played well here before the last few years. I think he's got back-to-back top 10s or 2 out of the last 3 years. Yep. I think last year he was 8th. Yeah.
T52, T58 last 2 years, T14, T14. So he's been back-to-back T14s. Yeah, he's played quite well here. Varner, guys, not too big on Varner. Putting, I got to see it from him. His 3 events he's had, he's minus strokes in 2 of them. Gooch did Gooch make my card? He was very close.
Gooch.
Nah, he didn't make my card, Connor. He's another guy up there with Nah. I'm probably gonna have him in a matchup bet. I will, along with Fleetwood. I have Fleetwood written down too. After what you said about Fleetwood, I think he's a good matchup bet. That's right. Trans Canada Victoria Day. Thank you. Yeah, Victoria Day is the Queen's Day. Thank you, my guy. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's the holiday. But yeah, I know. I like that look on Gooch. You know, he's gained strokes at the CJ, gained strokes at the Masters big time. And then he's interesting. He could either just go, his putter can get hot. You know, he's a great ball striker. And nothing bad to say about Gooch. You know, he could very well win it. His number was a little low, I believe, at 40-1. It wasn't low, I guess you could say. But I found some other golfers in there like Harmon and Rose as a replacement. So we're going to rock with that, Connor. Moving on, we got CT Pan, interesting golfer, just shorter track. So, you know, CT Pan could have a shot. He's been okay at this golf course too. He was T3 and T32. That's been his best results. T20 as well in the last 5 years. So he's done okay at this event. Troy Merritt, he almost made my card, Connor. He is going to be a first-round leader, though. I have him first-round leader at 70-1, along with Kevin Na. Almost forgot to mention that. Kevin Na is a first-round leader, 60-1. Troy Merritt, though, just a guy that seems to do well at these weaker fields there, Connor. 1.65 strokes gained at Wells Fargo. That's really good. T28 to the Zozo. Missed the cut at the Shriners, but that was the beginning of the year. So I think Troy Merritt could have a shot here. I have him top 40 as well, plus 105. Small number, but I think it's safe. He's done quite well at this event too in the past. Well, actually, he doesn't have much experience. He missed the cut in 2020, but he was T7 the following year. So Troy Merritt didn't make the card. First round leader. I think he can pull that out for us. And top 40. Sabatini, Connor, not enough for me with Sabatini. Interesting call. Interesting with him. He's another guy that does quite well at this event. T6, T14, T67. Appreciate that. Pub Sports for life. That's right. I should get my Pub Sports gear on more. I shouldn't do that. But anyway, Yeah, we be pumping. Shout out to our guests too last week. Dubsy and Cam Stewart really brought the
Yeah, shout out to those
excitement to
guys.
the show there. Shout
Talk
out to
golf forever. Let's let them go.
Oh,
Shit,
honestly,
take a roll, brother.
I was trying to get a couple of things in there, but I was like, oh man, just hearing them talk golf is like a treat. So we'll get them back. We'll get them back again. And shout out to Mikey P too. Mikey P had some great insights too. On Cameron Young. He was one of the first guys I remember bringing him up. So shout out to Mikey P. Great stuff, Mikey. A couple more golfers though. I got 2 more guys on the 6-pack. I'm gonna get into them now. Putnam didn't make the card, but could maybe be okay. He's finished. What do I have here? T20 and T3 back in 2018, 2019. Shorter track. A lot of these shorter golfers, guys, you don't really hear about, could do well here. But a guy that is going to make my card, we've had him several times. That's Captain Kirk. I'm going back to Captain Kirk. He finished. Yeah. He finished well. You see how he finished there? T5 had that eagle, I believe, on 17, I want to say.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was on 17. So he's playing good golf. Looking at what he's done too this year, plus 1.28 strokes at the CJ Cup, T14, T48 at the Zozo, and then just recently T5, and he gained 0.40 strokes on the putting surface. Shorter track, really straight golfer. Doesn't take much effort for him to hit the ball either. It's just effort. Like his powers, there's not so much power, Connor, but it just flies off the club face for him, kind of like Schnizzle. When I golfed with that guy, the ball just was flying off the club face. He was lights out. What's going on, Gerardo? Gerardo, sorry, it's been a while there, buddy. I also had a couple.
What up, bro?
What's going on, buddy? Appreciate you tuning in. Breaking down the Charles Schwab. I've already had 4 golfers. We're talking about the 5th one right now. I'll do a recap. That's Chris Kirk. He's available right now, guys. I had him at 55 to 1. You'll see these numbers change. The book's pretty much dropped him. I think it was like 2-3 hours ago. So
he's at 50 on Bovada.
50 on Bovada. Yeah, he's 55 here. I've got him at 365. Chris Kirk, I think he's got a good shot. Looking at what he's done too, guys. T67, T11, T60, T69. I think he's going to have more of that T11, even better this week. So he did make the card here, 55 to 1, Captain Kirk. And the last one on the card here, Russell Knox. He's not on the card, but I think he could do well. His putter, though, again, not enough for me to get there.
Yeah.
The guy I did get here with, though, Mr. MLB, not Cameron Young, but Mr. Adam Long. Adam Long, guys, 150 to 1. This guy seems to love this track. This is going to be the long shot of the week. T19, T20 last year. Looking at what he's done on this surface, Connor, on the bent grass. Plus 1.54 at the Shriners, T25 at the Zozo, and then gained strokes at the Wells Fargo, 0.55 that was. And then looking at what he's done recently, I got so much shit coming at the yin here. Recently, T15 at the Mexico Open. Off the tee, he's been gaining strokes every week except for the Wells Fargo. He doesn't have distance, but he's got accuracy. He's gained strokes accuracy probably about 80% of his events this year. So his putter can get hot at the right surface. This is the surface, in my opinion, Connor. So at a long shot, Adam Long, Mr. MLB, 34 years old, doesn't have the distance, doesn't need it. He's got accuracy. That's what's going to win you this championship or this Charles Schwab challenge. Not a championship, far from it. It's a challenge, but not much of a challenge if you ask me. What Woodby does. Adam Long, guys, 150 to 1. Put it on your card. I really like that one, Connor. He's going to close out my 6-pack.
I like it. Yeah, let me run through mine. All of it will be quick here. Shout out to the chat. Let's get to this question here from Show. He says, what about Zach Johnson? You know, big number, lowest 72-hole score here, but long time ago, 12 years ago. What do you think about 2-time major, Masters champion, and British Open champion at St. Andrews? What do you think about Zach Johnson?
At St. Andrews or here?
No, he 2-time major champ. I was just giving his credentials, just giving him a little, giving him a little love there.
Shows what I know about Zach Johnson. Hello. Off the tee, let's just say Zach Johnson has not gained strokes since back in November. That's a big negative, and he's missed the cut in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his last 6 events. Only one he did actually gain strokes is the one we were at. Was the Valero Texas Open, finished T13, but I do not think this is a week for our guy Zach Johnson there. Who was asking that question there?
Oh, that was me. I was just reading the headlines from when I Googled it.
Yeah, no, I'm not too big on him this week, brother. He's got a bit of accuracy too. He's got some of the stuff, but compared to like a guy like Adam Long, who's playing much better golf, and he's gained strokes this year on bent grass, and he's gaining strokes off the tee. I like Adam Long a lot better than I do Zach Johnson.
All right, I like it. Let's get to mine here. I'm surprised you didn't say this guy. He won last year, and the year before that he was T3.
Coke?
He's 48-1. I know he made the cut. He had a rough Sunday, but I think Kokrak, you got to look at him. And some of these guys have got done, back-to-back years in some of these tournaments, which to me has been surprising the last few years. So I think at that number, he's a must-take, at least top 10, and I think he'll even make my card to win it. We will see in the end. This is a pretty good field too. It's been a little bit better in years past, but still pretty good. It's right down the road from Tulsa.
Yeah.
So
I was on the Coke last week. I think I'm going to take a week off the Coke, so I'll give it to you.
Yeah. Hey, I had him too, top 10, but if there's any spot, I mean, a guy who's played really well here, you got to look at him. Second, let me get to Jordan Spieth. He didn't have the best PGA. And you know what? He's maybe the biggest fade, but he played so well the last week. I kept him off the card. Mm-hmm. And the PGA is going to be his biggest thing. I mean, to get the career Grand Slam, that's not going to be easy. But what's he have? 3 top 5s here. He was second last year. He has a win. He's got a win here. If you could get him 15-1, I think that's all right value. And I don't know if I take that. I'm just letting you guys know because I think he drops even, down 12-1 as the week goes on. Next is a guy, he played pretty well last week. I've had him a few times. He's come through for me, top 10 to 20. Gary Woodland. I think he ended up 1 under or even. He's got a tie for 14th last year, 2020 tie for 9th. 2018, he was tied for 6th, I believe. He's over 50-1. Big hitter. His putter looked better when I watched a little of him on the PGA. So Gary Woodland is a guy I have. Another guy you
Sorry, I just want to say, I was just going to say, sometimes your eyes can be better than the numbers, guys, because from Connor's, I almost like going by what you see, to be honest, because looking at the numbers from Woodland, he was minus 0.87 strokes despite being T34. So we did lose a bit of strokes stats-wise, full 4 rounds, but still, the eye test means more, especially if you're a golfer, I think, than some of these stats. Just, you want to look at stats, but you don't want to overdo it. Right, so I just
love that he's played well here, and you don't have to take him to win, but this guy's almost had 3 top 10s in the last out of 4 years. Last year was 14th. I think he's a look. He obviously loves this track. Some golfers like it, and I think he's been playing better golf. He'd really been playing bad golf. I had nothing on him last year till the swing around to the fall until just lately. Maybe 2 months ago I used him, and he played a little bit better. I think he's on the swing there. Wilson Staff guy.
Yeah, I love
there we go.
Wilson Staff. Must get the new D9 irons must have came in for this year, and he's piercing them. So shout out to
definitely.
Woodland is popping in the DFS world too. Just to let you guys know, like he's coming up in some of my models. It's probably.
I don't blame you. Yeah,
a lot of course history here, and top 10, top 20s kind of rank really high into that because all in Draftkings, you just want to make the cut. That's all you want to do.
I think he's a phenomenal.
You don't care what they score. You just want to make the cut in all these fantasy things.
That's like that McNeely thing you have there. Maverick, I think, is a great spot for that.
Yeah, he was popping up too.
Yeah.
I like it. We'll get to these quick. I'll be done in a sec. Answer and Nah, I'll just throw those in together. You kind of touched on both those guys.
Yeah, Nah.
I don't know about Answer. He's around 35-1. I think it's a decent number. Nah, a little bit better. But I think this is the course where these guys where I'd want to take him. And Answer played well this past weekend. So those two guys were a look for me. And Answer's had success. He's had a few top 10s.
Golfers I could take this week.
And we're in Texas, right?
Yeah, God. Maybe.
So Answer's a look. All right. Let me roll through here. You mentioned him, Gooch. I don't know if he makes it for me, but he's a circle I have. He's played decent here. He's a top 20 guy, DFS guy. I think you should look at this week. I think he has some decent numbers here. Lastly, I mentioned Fleetwood. We went through Fairway Jesus. My long bomb, you mentioned Sabatini. You mentioned Johnson. My guy here is UNLV guy. I've took him in a few times. He has played horrible this year, but it's Charlie Hoffman. I think he's about 44 years old. Second last year. Tie for 13th in 2019. Yeah, he hasn't played well, but he's over 350-1. If I can get this guy a top 40 or even top 20. The number's right. And he pops up every year. And look what he's done here. Just look him up. Charlie Hoffman, how well he's played at this golf course. So I think about it. I'm just saying. Lastly, a couple guys just to think at long numbers for this week. Aaron Rye, Streelman, 125-1. I think that's a shot to look at those guys. I'm not going much off course history.
Yeah.
Just been playing a lot better golf lately in general. So I think there's a decent number with those guys. And that is it for me so far.
I like it. One of the guys here, Chance Canada, is asking about the tornado that came up here. Apparently it was bad in Belleville. I was actually golfing in Bath, Ontario, just south of Odessa near Kingston. And they tried to kick us off the course. We didn't hear the horn, so we stayed out. Little wind, little rain, didn't stop us. We kept her going. But, yeah, there was some crazy tornado. Like they say it was like you see down in Oklahoma or in Kansas. Hit up here in Ontario and like 10 people died. It's pretty crazy. So it's really nothing I've seen here. But no, yeah, we were good to go. I was golfing, as you know. Yeah, no, everything was good to go. Zalatoris, there's Spud saying all hail Zalatoris. You know, if he could have just made a couple more putts, buddy, it was really his for the taking. Didn't have a good Saturday in those conditions, but you know, it was his for the taking. You know, the fact Justin Thomas won that just showed you guys in golf, live betting can be just as good as it is in NBA or any of these other sports. He was 7 down and you would have got him 14-16-1 live, or sorry, not live, but pre. You could have got him, God, I would imagine 45, 50, even higher to 1, maybe even in the hundreds, maybe not that high. But the fact is, guys, live betting and just watching golf tournament or day in and day out and seeing and knowing the weather conditions. The weather this week, I actually don't have the weather at the moment. Connor, if you want to take over, maybe just for a second.
Hey, I got a quick question for you guys. Since I don't get you guys both for the full show every Monday, let's play a little game. Why don't you guys pick 3 golfers and we'll add up their scores at the end of the thing?
Hey, that's what I do at work.
Just for the show, yeah. Pick 3 golfers. We'll add up their score. Winner gets to pick the next time.
Connor's got a little. He's got to get a little more info.
I need more info, Show. I'm sorry. So if going forward, I'll try to get this done before. I can't do it right now. I mean, I just can't. I mean, I guess I know Spieth, Kokrak, Woodland. So I don't even know.
I'll give you mine. I don't give a fuck. I'll give you. I'll go 3 guys. We'll go in kind of a range here. I'll go Hovland as my chalk. I'll go Justin Rose. I'm going to trust Justin Rose this week. And then give me Adam Long as my long shot there. I'll go Hovland, Rose, Long.
Weather looks good that I see. Slightly cloudy. Doesn't look like
Saturday,
much.
Sunday, though, windy.
A little bit more wind.
22-mile-an-hour winds on the weekend. So could be seeing some wind again. And look what Rose did, guys. He was strong when it came to the weekend. So you know what, Rose, I really do like a little bit more. I think Hovland should be better in an easier course. And, yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. Anything else, Connor, or do you want to close it out?
Nope, I'm going to roll. Hit the like button.
Yeah, hit the like button there, guys, if you haven't already. We'll be back again next week there, Monday, same time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. But before I go, I do want to go over the picks one more time for you guys. I got Hovland 20-1, Harman 55, Kirk 55, Rose 60, 66 McNeely, 150 on Adam Long. All those guys are also going to be first-round leaders. I'll tweet out the lines on Twitter, guys, Eagle47_. You can see that in the little banner there under my face. And then top 20s, I got Hovland, or top 10, sorry, Hovland, Harman, Kirk, Rose. Top 20s, same guys, including McNeely and, including Nah. And then top 40s, I have Long, Merritt, and Smotherman. I'm taking Austin Smotherman. This guy seems to do quite well here and a bit of a long shot, plus 175. So that's the card this week, guys. Be sure to follow Pub Sports Radio here on Twitter, YouTube, everything. Just Google us there. You'll see everything come up. Thank you so much, Big Show, for producing this. Connor, for as always being here. And we'll be back, guys, next Monday for the next episode of PGA Pub Hub. Cheers.
Yeah, we be pubbing.